Good morning, boys and girls. Happy December. Today is Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, and this is your ELA for the day. Our purpose for reading is, after this, you can say, I can learn that the purpose for reading or listening to a fairy tale is to be entertained. Who doesn't like to be entertained? Our essential question, what lessons can we learn from the characters and stories? We're going to meet some characters, and what lessons could you possibly learn from them? Our word work warm-up, high frequency words. You worked with these a little bit yesterday. Ask, asked, buy, comb, girl, grand, lady, mother, number, often. Gotta move this other way, sorry. All right, our academic vocabulary. Positioned, if you position something, you placed it where you want it. Varying, if things are varying, they have all have something different about them. Expression, an expression is a group of words with a special meaning. Trapezing, if you are trapezing, you are walking without knowing where you are going. Barging, someone who is barging in goes into places with force. And groggy, someone who is groggy is sleepy or weak. Reader's vocabulary. Story structure, how a story is organized. Conflict, something in a story that creates challenge for the characters. It's also called a problem. Event, something that happens in the story. Resolution, how a story ends or how a conflict is solved. And plot, the conflict, events, and resolution that make up a story structure. And threw this one in there. We have a little dinosaur. Or, yes, it goes with our story, as you'll see. Story structure again. Stories often have a similar structure. Authors organize the plot in ways that will entertain readers. So you have your beginning. The events in the beginning include the conflict or problem the characters face. Then you have the middle. The events in the middle show the characters trying to solve the conflict. And then the end. The events at the end include the resolution or how the characters solve the conflict. So you need to look for evidence or clues in the text to describe a story's plot. Today's story is Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs by Mo Williams. And yes, that says Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs. Once upon a time, there were 3 dinosaurs. Papa Dinosaur, Mama Dinosaur, and some other dinosaur who happened to be visiting from Norway. One day, for no particular reason, the 3 dinosaurs made up their beds, positioned their chairs just so, and cooked 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding at varying temperatures. Oh boy, said Papa Dinosaur in his loud, booming voice. It is finally time to leave and go to the someplace else. Yes, continued Mama Dinosaur. I sure hope no innocent little succulent child happens by our unlocked home while we are someplace else. Then the other dinosaur made a loud noise that sounded like a big evil laugh, but was probably just a polite Norwegian expression. It says, The 3 dinosaurs went someplace else and were definitely not hiding in the woods waiting for an unsuspecting kid to come by. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, a poorly supervised little girl named Goldilocks came trapezing along. And here it says 2 miles, very nice home, and then getting closer. Just then, the forest boomed with what could have been a dinosaur yelling, "Gotcha!" But I'm pretty sure it was just the wind. The loud noise was immediately followed by another loud noise that sounded kind of like, "Be patient, Papa Dinosaur, the trap is not yet sprung." But that could have been a rock falling, or a squirrel. Either way, Goldilocks was not the type of little girl who listened to anyone or anything. For example, Goldilocks never listened to warnings about the dangers of barging into strange, enormous houses. So, as soon as Goldilocks came across a strange, enormous house, she barged right in. Says, welcome, tee. Inside, Goldilocks immediately smelled 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding. Mmm, said Goldilocks. That chocolate pudding smells delicious. If only I could get all the way to the top of that counter. Then Goldilocks noticed a very tall ladder. It just happened to be there and certainly was not left on purpose. Or wasn't left on purpose. Goldilocks climbed up the ladder and found herself face to face with 3 gigantic bowls of chocolate pudding. The first bowl of chocolate pudding was too... what's that? Sorry. I'm going the wrong way. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. The first bowl of chocolate pudding was too hot, but Goldilocks ate it all anyway because, hey, it's chocolate pudding, right? The second bowl of chocolate pudding was too cold, but who cares about temperature when it's just a big bowl of chocolate pudding? Not her. The third bowl of chocolate pudding was just right, but Goldilocks was on such a roll by now, she hardly noticed. Soon Goldilocks was stuffed like one of those delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons, which, by the way, are totally not the favorite things in the whole world for hungry dinosaurs. Tired and groggy, Goldilocks noticed 3 chairs in the living room. So she climbed down the ladder and walked out to the kitchen. The first chair was too tall. The second chair was too tall. But the third chair was just too tall. Goldilocks isn't going to climb that high just to sit in someone's chair, so she hiked over to the bedroom. When she got there, Goldilocks noticed the beds were also gigantically big. What is going on around here? Groaned the exhausted girl. The bears live here must be nuts. Just then, the room filled with loud booming noise that was either a passing truck or a dinosaur gloating. A few more minutes and she'll be asleep. Delicious chocolate-filled little girl. Bonbons are yummier when they're rested. Even a little girl who never listens to anyone or anything had to hear that. Goldilocks took a minute to stop and think, which was longer than she was used to stopping and thinking. Hey, she told herself, this isn't some bear's house. This is some dinosaur's house. Say what you like about Goldilocks, but she is no fool. As quickly as she could, she ran back to the door and got out of there. Just then, a loud plane flew by, which sounded pretty much like a trio of dinosaurs yelling, now, or charge, or the Norwegian expression for chewy bonbon time. Suddenly, and completely coincidentally, the 3 dinosaurs rushed through the front door, but they were too late. Goldilocks was gone, and all that was left in the house were 3 disappointed dinosaurs. The end. And the moral is, if you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. And which story should she have been in? Of course, Goldilocks and the 3 bears. And the moral for the dinosaurs is, lock the back door. Your purposeful practice for today is iReady reading lessons, your teacher table where you'll work with oral language, odd one out spelling word game. Now with this, it's a little different than it describes it in the book. So it's similar to headbands, but it's not using headbands. But it's described in the lesson plans for the teachers. Story structure with your graphic organizer, and know it show at page 93. Thanks for listening.